Hi, welcome to She Spice. The race is on for Shah, who accompanies him presented illegal, and it's not looking great for him with his previous marketing expert, emerging to say he's an ace controller and his current marketing specialist stopping on him. Individuals are puzzling over whether his attorney could soon abandon him. Also for the present, he's enthusiastic about supporting his client, yet with Diddy's possibilities, looking so melancholy. How long will that last currently? How about we start from the starting, with attacks on Diddy's homes clearly coming about in awful disclosures. His time in prison presumably isn't going great, particularly since he was denied bail 2 times notwithstanding, presenting a robust guarantee that incorporated a $50 million manner battling to be delivered on bail. His lawyer writing in a letter to the court Wednesday that Combs is prominently reliable and ought to be delivered on a $50 million bond, the rapper proposing to protect the bond with his $48 million Miami home, and the bond would be co-endorsed with his mom's sister, 3 grown-up children, and moms. Of his 2 girls, Combs was captured Monday, and sources tell ABC News he has not been imprisoned with the general jail populace. An adjudicator denied him bail Tuesday, subsequent to communicating concern that Diddy's supposed violations happened away from public scrutiny, with policing incapable of screening his conduct. Guiltless, so you're assumed that you get bail. Not in that frame of mind of wrongdoing. In this sort of wrongdoing, bail isn't assumed. Besides, you have the issue that he's blamed for threatening observers of attempting to obstruct the examination. None of that helps him in his contention that he ought to get bail. Combs argued not blameworthy to charges of racketeering and sex, dealing a 14-page prosecution charge. Combs controlled ladies to partake in exceptionally coordinated exhibitions of sexual movement with male, or is called freak-offs. His legal advisor was justifiably exasperated later, having battled for his client to emerge, attempting to introduce how helpful Diddy had been during the examination. He put forward how he had traveled to New York as before, as long as he figured out he'd be taken care of. Yet its undeniable adjudicators aren't getting it, fundamentally calling him a danger to society, and saying that he proved unable to be let out as the entirety of his casualties all too dreaded him. The battle proceeds. We're not surrendering by far. External, the New York City Town Hall. His legal advisor's resistance, he accepts as honest. I trust he's blameless, and we will battle this case with all of our strength until we need to battle no longer. The appointed authority administering the bail bundle introduced by Culla's legal counselor was inadequate, siding with examiners who considered Combs a danger to society, adding there is no condition that would guarantee that the rapper wouldn't stomach muscle. Ruck equity judges likewise brought up the 2016 spilled Cassie video that showed him being rough towards his then-sweetheart. Cassie, the examiners demanded that he needed to remain in prison, particularly since they had gotten proof that he had attempted to get in touch with one observer more than 50 times in only 24 hours, evidently in an endeavor to undermine or coerce them. The show's Combs fiercely beating his then-sweetheart vocalist Cassie, who examiners say was endeavoring to escape from one of Combs' supposed oddities, expounded forced sex parties, that he frequently recorded Combs' attorney spreading out his protection in court, contending that awful thing his client has done was on the tape, adding that the two had cherished each other, in which the adjudicator answered what adoration got to do with that, calling the video upsetting. Diddy's safeguard group was dependably the long shot in this bail contention, and that is a result of the wrongdoing of illegal exploitation, as a matter of fact, which makes an assumption that the respondent ought to be confined in its bail proposition. Coles' legitimate group, bringing up he gave up his visa, willfully migrated to New York in front of his capture, is endeavoring to sell his plane, furthermore employed private security to screen brushes day in and day out anyway. Examiners who were adamant Combs stay in care highlighted what they depict as a gigantic measure of proof incorporating instant messages. Read in court from ladies blaming Combs for physical and sexual brutality that went on for quite a long time, and tremendous endeavors to cover it up, adding observers generally share an intense feeling of dread toward the litigant. This is after his legal advisor made different explanations. Supporting Diddy after was first denied bail, saying that his ability to participate with the examination shows that he shouldn't need to remain in prison. Amusingly, the one point he more than once raises is his remaining in under agreeable conditions. He's in the unique lodging unit, which is an extremely challenging spot to be. It's something I'm going to take up with the appointed authority today, that it's difficult to get ready for a preliminary use from where he is, we deferentially contradicted. With the deciding, and that is the reason we're carry it to you, to the local judge, who's allocated to the case this midday. He, too, over and over inferred that the public authority had a grudge against Diddy by saying the federal authorities didn't need the rare to turn himself in, notwithstanding him doing so, on the grounds that then, at that point, they couldn't request confinement clearly. He's going for a public compassion story, and in the long run, he will be demonstrated to be guiltless once more. Thus tomorrow we battle against what's more. Will battle consistently until we don't need to battle any longer. I don't know. The inquiry is for what reason did it happen the previous evening rather than today? I don't have a clue about the response that question I simply need to make one point exceptionally clear. We have no power, nothing remains at this point but to demonstrate transparency. He got on a plane, and he came here, and assuming that he remained here for 1 day before the case began, or for 1 year before the case began, he planned to remain as long as the need might have arisen to remain in it. Winds up it, that is fine. That will be just 12 days. What the public authority believe should do, the government didn't maintain that he should turn himself in. He came here to turn himself in. For what reason doesn't the public authority need him to turn himself, in light of the fact that then they can't request detainment, so they go and they capture him. They capture the person who came to New York to hand himself over. However, we will make this multitude of focuses again tomorrow, and we'll make him however much we can until we get him out. He again talked about Diddy being a contender after his bail was denied, saying that Diddy was being housed in cold-hearted conditions and that his client shouldn't need to reside in a spot like that. Great evening, everyone. So we made a bail offer after past judgment. Carter, it didn't turn out well for us. The battle proceeds. We're not offering up by a long chance. I told Mr. Combs, I will attempt and get his case to preliminary as fast as conceivable. I will attempt to limit how much time he spends in very extremely challenging, and I accept uncaring lodging conditions in the unique lodging unit of the Metropolitan Confinement Office, and I will do all that I can to move his case as fast as conceivable. I get it that the public authority has an incredible measure of electronic gadgets that they need to download and give to me. Yet everything's on the public authorities, don't schedule anything's on the litigant's schedule. And they must oblige me and him and give us a speedy preliminary, and I will be pushing for that. He's prepared, he's centered, he has been prepared to protect this case since he initially learned about this case. Nothing has transformed from his viewpoint. I clearly would really like to battle this case with him out of prison, and we will attempt to bring that about after it came out that where he's being housed, the Metropolitan Identification Center is known for its brutal air. It's additionally where R. Kelly and Ghislaine Maxwell were put inside. A speedy preliminary, and I will be pushing for that. He's prepared, he's centered, he has been prepared to protect this case since he initially learned about this case. Nothing has transformed from his viewpoint. I clearly would really like to battle this case with him out of prison, and we will attempt to bring that about after it came out that where he's being housed, the Metropolitan Identification Center is known for its brutal air. It's additionally where R. Kelly and Ghislaine Maxwell were put inside. An office that is being considered terrible. The Metropolitan Entertainment Place in Brooklyn is famous for its horrifying day-to-day environments and uncontrolled brutality. How terrible is it inside this government lockup? There have been 2 homicides, 4 suicides, and various stabbings and lockdowns as of late. It's so out of control inside that 4 government judges are allegedly declining to send any longer detainees here. Donald Trump's previous fixer Michael Cohen spent a frightening year in government authority. He says for somebody used to an existence of extravagance like Diddy jail life, it is a serious shock. You have a work area, you have a plastic seat, you have your bed with 1 and 1/2 in bedding, no pad, and you likewise have storage. So you fundamentally have 3 F/5 feet to move around. So you have a fundamental 15 square FDI, in which is a horrendous, terrible place. Thus, Diddy's legal counselor is attempting to get him moved to a New Jersey jail in the past. It's a district office, however. It has a contract with the central government, and you can get a specific number of government prisoners in X District, New Jersey. And in my experience, it's simply an easier spot to manage. I think it's better for the individual being housed there, and it's simpler to get access, to him. I mean, one of the hardest things while you're planning for an extremely huge preliminary with an incredible arrangement of revelation is you need your client to have the option to approach you, the electronic disclosure. Nothing these days is in paper format. Everything's electronic, so you really want to ensure that your client approaches a PC. However, ironically, his legal advisor would talk. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.